Hey, what's up? Big Think AI. So yesterday I was a bit busy with some application stuff. But today I can talk about my first workshop I did with Big Think AI. Big Think AI, for context, is the biggest AI organization. They basically do two things. They run workshops to get people into AI concepts, think natural language processing or decision trees, stuff like that. And then they also do projects to get people like more experience. So sometimes it could be an AI warehouse navigator or like an AI dungeon master, which is something I actually want to work on, but I never did. So I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on that project. But I did my first workshop. I didn't even mean technically I wasn't meant to because we dropped our schedule and I chose like the week after this one and the couple weeks after, right? 'Cause I wasn't my week was a bit busy, but then no one's picking up this week. So I was like, okay, I'll just step in. So I came to there was decision trees. I wasn't that comfortable. So like the whole day I was going over the topic, talking to ChatGPT like over the phone about the topic just to get a better understanding, test some questions people might ask me. I did my usual thing when I'm nervous. So I was nervous, went by really fast. Did make some jokes here and there to kind of get the concepts to stick. Also like try to like do some good analogies, like I was using Achinade and stuff like that. Did it, and it was really nice. And then my the president of the club, she covered like the other stuff because we had extra time. So we did like I think it was K nearest neighbors and it was SVMs or something. I forgot what it was. And we talked about it. And then after it kind of went like slang. I think there wasn't much questions from that at the time. So what I started doing was playing around with the crowd, and by playing I mean just like asking them questions, right? 'Cause I think one of the biggest things I've noticed with crowds and audiences, especially in an educational setting like this, like a workshop, is that no one wants to ask the first question, right? You never know what's the appropriate question to ask. Like, is this worth the time? Is this even a smart question? Stuff like that. So what I started doing was being a bit more playful with it. I was asking like, okay, let me test you guys' knowledge. Let me start the interaction if they don't feel comfortable doing that right now. So did that, and then after a minute or two, some people were willing to ask more questions, like asking like, "Oh, can you explain this concept again? And can you do this?" And then I was making more jokes. I was like, "Okay, like if someone gonna answer it right, I'll say I know someone on Amazon. I'll give you a referral or something like that." Jokes like that to kind of line up the mood. And then from there we did like a workshop thing where we actually like went to do some practice and the people giving some ideas. People are learning. People are like, oh, I don't understand how this works. How does this thing work? Do you create an instance of this class and all of that? And then eventually they got the idea, and then people give ideas like, well, if we took out some like parameters from the model, right? And it was really nice. It was really nice. I think that in itself was really cool. But I think what was even more cool, or equally as cool, was that after the thing, we recorded our meeting. So after the thing, I was staying to make sure the Zoom recorded on us by myself. And then people came up to me. And one dude came up to me and he just stuck my LinkedIn. And I was like, oh, I saw you did data science internship and blah blah blah. Like, did you feel prepared and all of that? And I was giving him my response, was just like, basically with internships, as long as you have the foundations, you're good to go. Like, don't feel nervous and all that. But I found really funny was that someone switched up my LinkedIn to like to start a conversation with me. I think that was really cool. 'Cause I've never had that happen. It was like more and more conversations. Like someone else would come and say, ask like, oh, how do you get into this field? How do you like actually learn? I felt really silly because like I'm still doing that, right? I felt really bad because I felt like there's a lot of people in the room, much how do I phrase this? I felt like there was a lot of people in the room with a lot more knowledge than I had, especially at this given time. Um, but I was still leading the workshop in a sense. So it's like that felt weird. So like having people come up to me and asking like follow-up questions individually, I was like, dang, I'm giving them advice on like how to do project-based learning and stuff like that. And then at the end, a perplexity campus ambassador came by, just said, hey, blah blah blah, let's do some collaborations. So that's something we're gonna have in the future. We're in the talks about that right now. I think probably just be like um some AI coding thing, right? And I think that's right. I think I mixed up a cursor. But I'm really excited. I think it'll be really cool to see what we can do with Perplexity. But I also think it's really cool this experience I'm having right now with Big Think AI because like it's very I think I intended for yeah I intended for me to have this role at this time. But then I'm really fortunate it did happen. I'm really like thank God it happened like this soon because the usual track for stuff like this is like maybe in like November I'll get a role and then get more experience. But like September, like I literally started. I just transferred here, so September I started, and the September by start of October I'm leading workshops with the biggest AI student org. But I definitely want to improve my teaching skills. So I was able to see like the gap in skill between myself and like the president who was leading the other half, the later half of the workshop, and just like being able to speak more slowly, enunciate, really taking the, like, sometimes I would notice like she would mess up something and she would like stick on that thing. She'll just move on, right? Or like she was fixing like, okay, next thing. And she was able, like, she was giving more time to topics. I think that's something I have to do more. I also want to continue work on skills I think are really great that I have, like comedy, which sounds weird to say, but like just making stuff humorous. I think especially in technically related education places, I think that's one of the best things to do. Is sometimes they can feel very serious or very boring. I think having comedy and just asking questions is always a great way to interact with the audience. Like I know, something I was doing, especially during the first and this second workshop, was I was paying attention more so to the audience. 'Cause I really want to understand what are they hoping to receive from this workshop. Because to be honest, you could technically just try and do this by yourself, right? You could go use ChatGPT or something like that. But then there's obviously a reason you're here in this in-person interaction. And I think it's because of the relationships, it's because you want to ask more, you want to be in an environment of learning and stuff like that. So I want to make sure I take the most advantage of that. What is stuff that you couldn't do by yourself that you can do here? So that's like interactions, laughing, all of that. I also really emphasize that after the meeting to like really talk more in the Discord because I think that's something I want more of this big thing AI. I want it to be a much more sociable place. 'Cause I think there's a lot of great minds in the organization, but then the issue now, or not an issue, but I guess the lack of there's an opportunity for people to connect and do cool things together, right? I think that's gonna happen with the Edge projects. That's the project-based learning stuff, but also want just like more natural. And I guess I'm stuck on um what's a good one? I'll just use decision trees because that's what we covered. It's when I'm stuck on decision trees or it's doing a project with decision trees, and it's like really just not finding a way to get past like a current hurdle on their project. You can say, "Hey guys, do you guys have any advice?" Boom, someone has an advice, and it's like, "Oh, thank you, you're doing this. I actually have a friend who's in this thing and is doing this. Maybe you guys should connect." Blah blah blah, and that's able to like create a really nice relationship right there. I really want to try and see how that's done. I think the biggest thing is that no one ever wants to be the first person to send the message. I think I have no shame in that regard. So I'm going to be the first, the second, the third, and the fourth and fifth, to the nth person doing that type of stuff onto people engage. I also want to build a social media presence. I think a big thing. Even though my original assumption with Big Think AI from the first minute, like, okay, a lot of this is beginners, but now with the second minute, I've realized it's really like it's a diverse set of people. Like you have a bunch of experts, you have a bunch of beginners, you have a bunch of intermediates, right? So it's like that's why I got intimidated. Like, dang, you guys definitely know more than me, I think. But I think I really just want to attract all people. I think there's a lot of beginners who definitely see the value of like AI and different applications. I really want to get invested. But like, they'll hear something crazy and it's like, oh, this seems really way too complicated. So I really want to try and build our social media presence so we can attract those people. Maybe it could be just funny videos. Maybe it could be a funny video teaching something like, hey, this is how a decision tree works. Just like really quick. 'Cause I feel like decision trees are fairly simple to explain. But I'm really excited. It's a really cool group. I'm really excited what we're doing. Yeah, I don't even know if there's more to say than that, but I think it's gonna be really awesome. And then Terp Labs, Terp Meals, I guess I'm going to start referring to as because that's the app we're working on for my team. The we have our own Discord server, so we're forming the group. I just need everyone to join so we can send out their official communication, set up a time after fall break to meet. But like between now and then, we'll obviously be communicating, getting to know one another. I'm hoping to do just like a hangout to get like people to know. Like I want it to be something where it's like I only know this person by their profile picture. I want you to know the person face to face, build a friendly relationship, and then be able to like be comfortable saying, "Hey, I'm stuck on this problem," or "I have this really cool idea," and I don't know if anyone wants to be willing to listen, but I think you're cool because we talked about this before, and it's like that's the type of environment I want for Turp Labs and Turp Meals. I mean, but yeah, stuff are going really well. Besides that, though, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.